How's it going, everybody? So I have here a purchased core from a customer. Well, not a customer, just a power stroke owner that had stated that he put in a DPK and his truck fails to build pressure, and he replaced it with a CPX and his truck fired up. History was his truck had ran great before the disaster prevention kit installation, and after he installed the bypass kit, and the truck no longer ran. It did not build high pressure fuel, so I opted to purchase his core from him instead of sending it back, and I'm going to disassemble it and figure out why it just quit, all from him just doing that. So let's tear into this thing and go from there. So start off by saying welcome and thank you for watching the video. Hopefully I'll teach somebody something. If you have any more questions or anything, just go back into my channel history and just watch some other of my videos and content, and just make your decision if you want to continue following or not. No biggies to me. Just want to educate out there. That's all there is to it. So obviously we have here a Bosch CP4. This would be a 4.2, and from the outside doesn't look like anything's wrong. Just looking into the intake port and the return port, I don't see anything out of whack or anything. I'm going to get my pick and I'm going to pull this screen out to verify there's nothing in there. Well, usually they come out, this little booger's fighting me, so I'm just going to leave it in there. I'm going to take this FCA off. Alright, got the fuel control valve off. There isn't, by eye, I don't know how well you can see on the camera, but by my eye, there's like very minuscule specs on that O-ring and on the screen. So I guess I have to go deeper and look at that cam, make sure it doesn't have any scald or turn cups or something. Like I said, I don't know why this thing would quit just putting the bypass kit on, unless something got screwed up in the orientation of the bypass. I do not know. Either way, and there's some tiny little specks down at the bottom, but it's nothing to shake a stick at. So alright, I got all the bolts out of both heads. I haven't pulled them out. They both sprang upwards, which is a good sign. So let's go and get this one off first. Pull it out of there. Alright, so I don't see any debris or anything on that O-ring, nothing on this pumping sleeve and shaft. Let's see. Alright, let's pull this one out. Try not to pull the cups out with them. Same thing there, that's clean there. The pumping shaft looks good. It's not galled, it's not frozen. Now let's get these sleeves out. They don't look like they've rotated. They're both oriented straight up and down. Alright, so I got roller bucket. Well, one roller bucket out. It's smooth all the way around. The roller looks fine, it actually spins. Let's get the other side pulled out. Let's see. Let's just set these things right there. Not rotating it, just pulling it straight up the way it is. Bam, look at that. Okay, it's not rotated. Roller spins fine. Don't look galdy or anything. Alright, let's look in there at that cam. Alright, still looks like it has its factory crosshatch from machining on it. And both lobes are there. They don't look worn down. Like I said, just looking off the reflection. Looking at, yeah, from the other, you know, light shining in the other side, looking down on top, because that right there would be the top of the cam lobe. It's probably better. It's kind of hard to see on camera, but either way, the lobes look good. The cam spins pretty free. You know, I'm just literally taking 2 fingers and rotating it so it's not locked up or anything funky. It's not all wobbly. Yeah. Only if these things spin this easy with all the daggone lobes are still in it. Because these things are a pain to freaking turn by hand when it's all put back together. There is some fuel down in the bottom of the board. Yeah, there's some fuel down in there. So the other thing I did see on this FCA after I took my sunglasses off, I actually looked at this O-ring. There was like one tiny little sliver of like just a metal, like aluminum shaving. And then also too, on this bore, I don't know if you can see that. That shiny spot about midways down there. That's not a hole. That's actually like a chromed out shiny spot. And it's just in that side. Well, it's kinda in this one too. That could be where that came from. No, that pumps. Well, no, this is a high. Let's see, I'm trying to think now. So these are fed from the bottom. So I wonder if this thing was just ran dry and just had airlock. But if I remember right, I told him everything to do to check and make sure it's not airlocked. And I can't remember if he's the one I told to take off these lines. Yeah, loosen these lines and crank. Ooh, excuse me, and crank it over and see if you get pulse spray while cranking. And again, this is why I want to build a test port or a test tool for this, so you're not sitting there cranking, and just reading what you see on the scanner. You actually have hard mechanical data right here, because if you do have a verified leak down the line, say a leaking injector, yeah, it's going to bleed off pressure. This thing will never build. It will never build. You will have a good stable cranking, but it will never build high enough to be like, okay, let's run the engine, let's roll. You'll never see that. So with tool being on both these heads and cranking over, you have for definite established fuel supply, and this thing is cranking on a gauge. And when it's cranking on a gauge, you know you have a good pump. It's just all there is to it. So honestly, readily, and just from what I've seen so far, and the way this feels and turns, it doesn't feel gaudy. It's not stopping. It's not clanking or anything like that when I spin it. I don't know. I truly do not know, unless he just really did have a blockage in here, and it just wouldn't let the new fuel flow go into the pressure heads. Yeah, that's the only thing I can think, because let's see, these plungers, they're not galded. It's not galded anywhere inside of the bore. I don't see anything in there. So yeah, wow, this one really got me. This one has me perplexed. So same with this one, same condition with this one. Looks good. So hydraulically that feels a little different. Here, let me take the spring off here so I can actually do this. Crap. Yeah, without having, you know, true feel on this thing. Well, that's a hydraulic seal. I mean, that kind of seal's there. I know. I shouldn't be touching this thing like this. Even with gloves on. So I try not to, but it still happens. Get in there. Get in there. Yeah, see how that one just falls in? That's odd. That isn't odd. See, it's not supposed to come back out like that. I don't know if y'all caught that or not. Yeah, I don't know if y'all caught that or not, but fuel will come back out of that port. It's not supposed to do that. It's supposed to go out there because there's a check valve in there. There's a check valve in there that keeps that from happening. This one here, why are you getting stuck? Come on now. There we go. Yeah, because this one pushed it out of there. It didn't push it back out of there. Yeah, I can hear that coming out of there. Alright, so this head, this one may actually just have a bad head. So I don't know. Yeah, this one actually just has true resistance where this one doesn't. I know it looks the same on camera, but just by feel and pushing this back and listening to the difference in yeah, this 80%, this is a bad pumping unit. I feel 80% on that. The only way I'd know is putting pressure to it and spinning her up and see, you know, what this side is doing. That's the only way. And like I said, I don't have it tool built yet. So, but mechanically, crankcase is fine. The cups are fine. Return springs are good. This pumping unit's fine. This pumping unit, I think it has some internal issues in the head. Yeah, I can take this apart and go deeper into it, but I'm not going to do that. So, like I said, out of all the ones I've taken apart, the heads anyway, they're, you know, they feel like this, and they push out of there, not out of here. So, well, this one literally just has nothing. So, yeah, that would be an internal leak. With these two being literally plumbed together with the other line, if that's bad, it's just going to just circulate fuel. It's just going to circulate fuel back through the heads. It's never going to build pressure. I mean, it would, but it'll be so damn low you're not going to measure it. So, like I said, it's not a 100% answer on why this thing quit, but it's 80% answer on potentially this pumping unit being bad. So, causes, probably just wear. Just wear, and obviously, as y'all know now, these CPs are designed for European fuels, and European fuels have a different molecular structure than American diesel fuel. So, there you go. So, again, the lubricity, metal to metal, things wear a lot quicker when you don't have your microscopic film between your metal parts. Anyway, so that's it on this. I'm gonna wrap this up. Dang, it's a 15-minute video. Anyway, so I'm gonna wrap this up. Thank you, Connecticut, You know who you are. I'm not gonna put your name out there unless you tell me. I'm pretty much just gonna put this back together the way it is, and I'm going to store it over in my little storage camper there. And when I get my my gauge test tool put together and ready to rock and roll, this is going to be the first unit I'm going to put on it. So, all right, that's it for this one, guys. Just not ask for subscribers. I mean, at least just a simple like if you learned something, and maybe even a comment too if you watched all this and have a kind of an insight. Either way, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. See you guys later. Thank you.